the story that we are breaking at the moment, Speaker Om Birla has stepped aside from his post amidst a no-trust motion that has been moved by the opposition in the Lok Sabha. Speaker Birla has said that this is a moral step amidst the logjam. Now we are told on the 9th of March, that's when the second part of the budget session resumes, a debate on this no-trust notice moved by more than 120 opposition MPs will be heard. Opposition MPs moved this no-trust motion earlier today. Remember, all of this comes against the backdrop of the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, being denied the opportunity to speak, is what the opposition has said in its notice. They've also cited other instances where they claim Speaker Om Birla has not behaved like a neutral speaker that he is expected. This budget session of Parliament, in a way, has brought the Lok Sabha to the point of no return. 118 MPs moving this no-confidence motion.
The opposition turns up the heat against Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, submitting a notice to move a no-confidence motion against him. The notice, signed by 118 MPs, levels 4 charges. On February 2nd, Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi was not allowed to complete his speech. He was reading from a magazine article quoting General M.M. Naravne's unreleased book. The notice claims Speaker arbitrarily suspended 8 opposition MPs for entire budget session. The opposition alleges that the Speaker allowed a BJP MP to make personal attacks on 2 former Prime Ministers without reprimanding him even once. And finally, the opposition accuses the Speaker of falsely claiming that Congress MPs planned an untoward incident targeting Prime Minister. The Speaker had claimed the Prime Minister dropped his speech on his request.
क्या नेता विपक्ष स्वतंत्रता से देश की लोकसभा में अपनी बात रख सकते हैं या नहीं? इन प्रश्नों को लेकर ये अविश्वास प्रस्ताव आया है. From the memoirs,
Rahul Gandhi has not signed the notice. The Congress claimed the leader of the opposition backing a motion against the Speaker would breach parliamentary convention. There are cracks within the opposition. The Trinamool Congress has stayed away from the no-confidence motion. Amid mounting accusations, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju released fresh footage of the February 4 chaos, claiming these images reveal the security threats.
हम लोग बैठे हुए थे, देखे कैसे वो आगे बढ़ी, कैसे प्रधानमंत्री की कुर्सी जो आगे मैं वहां घेर करके खड़ी थी, तो स्पीकर ने बिल्कुल सही निर्णय किया कि जो उन्होंने मना किया आप नहीं आए. राहुल गांधी जैसे अपनी पार्टी को चलाना हो चलाएं, डुबाएं, लेकिन संसद नियमों से चलेगा, कानून से चलेगा.
The opposition dismisses the charges as deliberate diversion.
Parliamentary Affairs Minister, why he wants to prove Honorable Speaker wrong? Whatever the Honorable Speaker says, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister wants to prove that the Honorable Speaker is wrong. This is first time it is happening. We are very much pained that the leader of opposition is not allowed to speak by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. He forces the Honorable Speaker to deny the right of the opposition to speak.
As things stand, a no-trust motion, even if admitted, is bound to fall as the NDA government has the numbers. The move by the opposition, however, is to embarrass the Speaker, as no-confidence motions against the chair are a rare occurrence. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions then tonight. It is government versus opposition in the Lok Sabha. Have the relations reached the point of no return with this no-trust motion being moved against the Lok Sabha Speaker? Has the opposition lost total faith in Speaker Om Birla? Has the Speaker failed to be a neutral umpire? What is the objective of this no-trust motion? Will this further vitiate government-opposition ties? Joining me now, Jebi Mathur. She is a Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress Party. Aparajita Sarangi is a senior MP of the BJP in the Lok Sabha. Rajat Sethi, a political analyst who's worked closely with the BJP, and Ashutosh, political analyst who was, of course, with Aam Aadmi Party earlier. I appreciate all of you joining us. I want to get initial remarks from each and every one of you. First to you, Jebi Mathur. Why has the opposition chosen this moment to move a no-trust motion? Is it specifically because Rahul Gandhi was not allowed to speak, or has it been building up over the last several months?
How long will we take this injustice? How long will we suffer? How long will we keep silent? How long can we just take all the dictatorial attitude of the government? The speaker, who is supposed to be an umpire, who is supposed to play a neutral role, who is supposed to give opportunities to both sides, both the opposition and the treasury benches, if the speaker acts in a totally one-sided manner. The mics are being off of the opposition, where the treasury benches, the ministers, the home minister or any other minister, they can speak for any time at any moment and they get the opportunity. But for serious national importance that matters to the country, when Rahul Gandhi, the opposition leader, tries to make an attempt, no, it's denied. Opportunity is denied. Mic is turned off. Then this has been going on for a while. So a moment has come. We have to take action, and this is the moment.
Ms. Mathur, it seems though you're saying this, but the truth of the matter is, was Rahul Gandhi being, the speaker says, under the rules of the House, he has the authority to decide who should speak. That is his authority, that is his prerogative. Rahul Gandhi has challenged that. I want to understand, are you challenging in a way the speaker's authority to decide the fact that Rahul Gandhi cannot speak on General Narawane's memoir? Are you challenging his authority, which he has got, like it or not, under the rules of the House?
Prerogative, the rules, there has to be neutrality in it. It is not, why do we question? We question it, see, then the rules should be equal for the opposition and also for the treasury benches. There cannot be different rules for opposition. There cannot be a different rule for treasury benches. Anybody can stand up and say anything about our former prime ministers of Congress. Anybody can go to any extent. Then all that is allowed. Mic will continuously be on. But when it comes to opposition, there's total dictatorial attitude by the speaker. And then coming to your question again, the prerogative, how judiciously it is used is something displayed, shown is something which is nothing, anything under the sun is not under any cover. We have the right to question it. If the prerogative is not performed judiciously, if the duty of being an umpire is not performed judiciously, we have every right to question, and that is what the opposition is doing.
Says that he asked the Prime Minister not to speak because he feared that there would be a physical attack on the Prime Minister by the women MPs. Now, when you make such a statement, naturally it's going to raise the hackles. Are you seriously telling me that the Speaker was trying to prevent, feared a physical attack by these MPs? Isn't the Speaker also now being seen as his master's voice? He speaks what the government wants him to speak. Very serious allegation to suggest that women MPs were going to physically attack the Prime Minister. Then he allows Nishikant Dubey, a BJP MP, to say whatever he wants about Jawaharlal Nehru. No one expunges those remarks initially, but Rahul Gandhi stopped. So the double standards of the Speaker, ma'am, seem to be exposed also.
Am I supposed to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Go ahead.
Okay, a very good evening. Whatever the allegations against Honorable Speaker Shri Om Birla ji are far from the truth. Now let me tell you that all of us are supposed to act in accordance with the rules of procedure and conduct of business in the Lok Sabha. Nobody is above the rules of the Lok Sabha. We may like it, we may not like it, but we have to accept it. The dignity and decorum of the House have to be upheld, whosoever he or she may be. Now, our conduct, our behavior should be befitting parliamentarians. I think talking about this is like showing light to the sun. All of us are aware of this. Now, having said all this, let me tell you that the Speaker acted in line with Rule 349 and in line with Rule 353 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha. Now, the point is, we were all discussing the motion of thanks on the presidential address, and the leader of opposition wanted to talk about something not connected with the business of the House at that point of time. And I just request my counterpart from the Congress to read rule number 349. It says that no material, no newspaper can be read out if the issue so raised through such reading is not connected with the business of the House. So I think we all must understand that
So how was Nishikant Dubey, Miss Aparajita Sarangi, Mr. Aparajita Sarangi, how was Nishikant Dubey of the BJP allowed? Miss Aparajita Sarangi, how was Nishikant Dubey, BJP MP, allowed to read chapter and verse from books, many of which how was he allowed to do it? And how was it that the Speaker should virtually suggest that women MPs were going to physically assault the Prime Minister? As a woman MP, how can you accept such a charge?
Can I come in? There is no denying the fact that whatever Nishikant Dubey did was not right, and for that matter, the person in the chair, Mr. Tenety, the then chair, in fact reprimanded him, kept on telling him that the Speaker under Rule 353 has already given a ruling that those books cannot be shown. So, you know, whatever, and he please go back to the video and see what Mr. Tenety did at that point of time. So I think that satisfies you. Despite that, Mr. Dubey kept on doing that I fully endorse, fully understand it was not right. I entirely agree. However, the next thing I must say regarding the women parliamentarians from the Congress, I tell you, I'm a second-time parliamentarian. I was sitting very close to the seat of Honorable Prime Minister among the Treasury benches. And suddenly these women from the side of the opposition come across to the side, to the well of the House, which is near the seat of the Prime Minister. And the path that Honorable Prime Minister takes every day to reach his seat was blocked by my esteemed colleagues, my women MPs from the Congress. We were all aghast. There was no need, and they were carrying a huge banner, and they came and surrounded the seat. Had they been with that banner on their side of the well of the House, there would have been no problem. But then, you know, in such a situation, you try to understand the Prime Minister of the country has to walk in to his seat. When he comes, all of us leave that path because, you know, he should be coming and smoothly should come and sit there now. Now here, the Lok Sabha Speaker is the custodian of the House. When we are derelict in our duty, when we are not on the right track, our behavior is not in consonance with the rules of procedure, he reprimands us. I'm talking of people from the NDA. He reprimands us. So many times he has done that. So he is duty bound to do that. Right. He is duty bound to say that it is the security of the Prime Minister. Anything could have happened. Any unruly incident could have happened. Any unpleasant thing could have happened. Some jostling could have happened.
Any apprehension.
At that time we need to be prudent. He was just prudent.
Ma'am, these are apprehensions. I am very happy at least that you have admitted that Nishikant Dubey's behavior was out of line. Let us be very clear. Nishikant Dubey would not have said what he had said unless your own party leadership had told him. He hasn't acted on his own, and the Speaker should have acted far more sternly against him and ensured that his mic was switched off when he was making those defamatory remarks. Yeah, but you see, with Rahul Gandhi,
The chair was constantly telling that he should
with
not be
Rahul
doing
Gandhi,
that.
there was absolute. Yeah, well, he continued, and many believe he was continuing on behalf of the government. But let me bring in Ashutosh and Rajat Sethi for a moment. Ashutosh, here is the debate over the Lok Sabha Speaker now. No confidence motion. We've seen a no confidence motion in a previous session against a Vice President. Now we are seeing it against Lok Sabha Speaker. It seems that essentially the opposition is simply unwilling now to accept that the government has the numbers, and therefore the government more often than not will get its way. And the Speaker and the Vice Chairperson of the Rajya Sabha often are accused of acting, or the Chairperson on government's, the government is running the show. Is part of the problem a lack of trust or an element of frustration?
No, Rajiv, the most important thing is Speaker behaving like in a bipartisan manner? Is he neutral, or is he behaving like a government spokesperson? That's a fundamental issue. I was told, and I know this, that the Speaker is a final word in the Parliament. He's a final word. But this finality is determined by the reasonable restriction. He's constrained by neutrality. If the Speaker is not neutral, if the Speaker is seen to be playing for the government, then obviously opposition has every right to came out with these kind of no confidence notice. It is nothing new. This is coming for the fourth time in the Lok Sabha, so Speaker should not worry about it because numbers are there. What I'm aghast to say this, that this is happening and all kind of absurd allegations are leveled against the women MPs. The cabinet minister is saying that the prime minister is not safe because there might have been attack on him. It's like a danger to his life. Another one is saying कि औरतें उनको दांत काट लेती. Just imagine. But these are they out of their mind or what? And if the Speaker had the intelligence, has the information that the prime minister was to be attacked physically and his life was in danger, then why by now these women MPs are not taken to the task? Why they are not arrested? Why a FIR is not filed? Why inquiry has not been ordered? And why somebody who's in charge of the Prime Minister's security has not resigned by now? See, we are talking about the security of the Prime Minister. And is it such a casual thing that the same women MPs are still sitting in the house? They could have been dangerous not only for the Prime Minister, but maybe to somebody else. Are we out of our mind making these kind of charges, scandalous things?
No, 1 minute. So, beyond the charges, of course, Rajat Sethi, another institution is being weakened. Like it or not. This is not the first time no confidence motions have been moved, but there's a sense now that every institution is being hijacked by those in power. The Vice President, a session or two ago, abruptly resigns. Nobody knows till today the real reason behind Jagdeep Dhankar's resignation. Many believe that the government was dissatisfied with him overnight. Now we've got the Lok Sabha Speaker. The opposition has moved a no trust motion against him. So there seems to be those in high constitutional bodies are increasingly finding themselves reduced to either you toe the line of the government of the day, or anything can happen, and therefore the opposition is justified in saying you're not a neutral umpire.
Well, Rajdeep ji, you have had an illustrious career of 3-4 decades doing reporting from Parliament. You don't have to go that far, but just pick up when Meera Kumar was the Speaker in the last, during the UPA 2 era. You will note several instances when Meera Kumar ji was supposed to be quote-unquote neutral. And what did she do? We all remember the 2011 anti-corruption debate that was happening. What was her role? She continuously ensured that no discussion, no debate happened in spite of the fact that adjournment motions were filed and moved by the NDA. And still those duly approved and signed adjournment motions were not even tabled in the Parliament. You remember what happened during the Colgate scam in 2012? What was her behavior during that time? There are many instances. Look at the Telangana creation issue.
But that is whataboutery, Rajat. With due regard, that is whataboutery. Rajat Sethi, that is whataboutery. That is whataboutery. Let me tell you. I mean, it does not justify how you're saying because Congress did it, therefore Om Birla can get away?
No, I'm just saying that the nature of a speaker always is a representative when he's getting elected. That's how the nature is. You're not appointing somebody who is a complete neutral, politically speaking. He has come out and got elected. So has the Congress speakers in the past also gotten elected and have become the speaker, and they've been the custodians. There is bound to be, a degrees of biases, because these are, at the end of the day, politicians. All I'm saying is that if he is quoting certain rules, did the leader of the opposition, did he flout those business rules or not? If yes, the answer is yes. 100% action should have been taken and the LOP should have been stopped from speaking, and that is what happened. Now, what do you anticipate? Should the speaker go out and allow open flouting of the rules? Then how is he the custodian? How does he have the moral authority to continue in the chair? He cannot allow that. And then the business advisory committees already decide on what all is going to be discussed, what are other, these are like the broad arrangements which the parliamentaries sign on to. They have to adhere to that. You can't create a fish market out of there. You tell me, when was it, which Congress party speaker ever allowed taking posters of this size inside in the well of the house? Was it the norm? Was it allowed? It was never allowed. These are some of the basic decencies that we expect from a parliamentarians. Have they exhibited that decency so far? So you can start taking a moral position and suddenly start telling that the Speaker House has to be neutral. It doesn't work like that. It's not a one-way street.
Okay. Ashutosh, you want to respond? The point that Rajat Sethi is making, that the opposition in a way is creating particularly the Congress is creating an anarchic situation. It's creating a situation of my way or the highway. Rahul Gandhi not allowed to speak, we will disrupt the house.
See, Rajdeep, I just want to remind my dear friend Rajat Sethi, in 2014, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was standing there. He was gherraud by several MPs. The paper was thrown on him. Posters were over there. Just 2014, just before the elections. So don't come with this sermon that it has never happened. The Speaker has never allowed. This kind of sermonization has to stop. The fact of the matter is, the Speaker is hugely partisan. A BJP MP was allowed to character assassinate our prime ministers. This is not defamatory. I think by now that member of parliament should have been sacked from the BJP, should have been disciplined. Nothing happened.
Okay, I've heard all sides to the story. As I said, I will give a final word to my two political MPs. Quick 30. Yeah, it is whataboutery. It is, no, look, whatever it is, yes. The fact is you are expected to maintain the highest standards. Our first speaker, Jebi maintained the highest standards. I don't care what Congress speakers did 30 years ago. I want to know what the present speaker is doing to ensure the dignity of the office. He comes and gives a free pass to the government and does not do so for the opposition. That's the question that is being raised. But Jebi, very quickly, you are being accused of spreading anarchy. That Rahul Gandhi wants my way or the highway is his attitude to parliament. How do you quickly respond to that?
BJP has no moral right to take lessons on how to conduct house, how to behave in the house, because country has seen it in 2011, in 2012, in 2014, and we have on record Sushma Swaraj's statements, Arun Jaitley's statement on what they think the need for disruption is when the issue is of that grave nature. And now they are taking lessons to us. And also we should remember what kind of in the midnight hour, how the Prime Minister has compromised with US. And also, it is also pertinent to note one monitoring committee is sitting in Washington and looking at our actions. I am not bringing a different topic, but I wish to say that this kind of taking lessons by the BJP
a different topic now. Madam, you are bringing a different topic.
Let me assertively say that this kind of behavior is not accepted. We need justice. We have the right to speak. Opposition leaders should be allowed to speak. And also our women MPs are very strong, very bold. They are from humble backgrounds who have come a long way. And they are being stated like this. That is just not acceptable. And what the figment of imagination
Okay,
of the BJP
you made
is
your
being
point.
seen by,
Okay,
from
you
the
made,
minister's
madam,
words.
I've heard your
What
point.
did the Prime Minister, did anyone ever attack Prime Minister?
Okay.
Have we ever shown any signs of attacking the Prime Minister? They just
Madam,
assume
I've
lot
heard
of
you.
things which actually
Can I?
that nothing
I've
has
heard
happened.
you, ma'am.
And
You
the
made your
Chappan
point.
Inch,
Can we have
what
the
happened
void
to
load?
Chappan
I will
Inch
give
Prime
Aparajita.
Minister that he got so scared.
Okay, madam, all the Chappan inch and all, but Aparajita Sarangi, don't you think that in a it's the treasury benches that have to make the first move? Why can't the parliamentary affairs minister call a meeting between, or the Lok Sabha speaker call a meeting between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi? The Prime Minister himself rarely attends parliament. These are the problems. How do you build trust unless the two sides talk to each other? Very quickly.
So, three clear issues. One, we strongly condemn the behavior of the opposition, especially the Congress. The other day, Rahul Gandhi ji stood up and said, I am the LOP, do you think I need permission? When Prime Minister gets up, he seeks permission from the chair, whosoever she or he may be. The LOP saying this smacks of his arrogance, his adamant behavior, and maybe his lack of knowledge of the rules of procedure. This is one part. So, there is absolutely no condoning the behavior of the leader of opposition and the team and the women MPs who crossed over from that side to this side to the Prime Minister's seat and blocked the path. There was no reason. Nobody can justify. I mean, whosoever he or she may be, nobody can justify that behavior of the women parliamentarians from the Congress. Now, number two, as far as Honorable Shri Om Birla ji is concerned, he is a second-time speaker, and no confidence motion has been brought against him. Nothing can be more ridiculous than this, because we know what's going to happen. In pursuance of Article 96 of the Constitution of India, he has decided to step out. He will not be entering the Lok Sabha till 9th March or whichever date we discuss the no confidence motion. And you know and I know what's going to happen. It will fall flat because they don't have the numbers. Knowing fully well they don't have the numbers, they have brought it.
You know, it's not about numbers, ma'am. You did not.
So that is the whole issue. And
what stopped the
yes.
speaker from bringing Narendra? Ma'am, I am not saying you don't have the numbers, but the speaker could have brought, at least made an effort to get Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi into a room. But the sad truth, and I want to say this as my take at the end, the sad truth is we have a situation today of a complete breakdown in trust.
Rajdeep,
that's the reality at the moment. In that, a democracy works where the...
seconds.
Yes, ma'am, a democracy... Yes, only 30 seconds, ma'am. Do finish.
Yeah. I just want to say, yeah, the first day when everything started, the logjam took place, you know, 40 minutes we waited for the leader of opposition to stand up and speak on the business of the House, and that was motion of thanks. He did not. 40 minutes we waited. So please don't say that our Honorable Speaker had partisan approach and he did not allow him to speak, did not give the opportunity to speak. This is absolutely far from the truth.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. As you can see, there is a serious lack of trust on both sides. And a democracy works when you respect the opposition and the opposition respects whoever has been elected to power. That mutual respect has broken down in our system, and unfortunately constitutional figures have as a result often become rubber stamps of those in power. Think about it. Let's turn from there to another contentious issue where a hate video posted by the BJP's Assam unit has now reached the doors of the Supreme Court. We are talking about the video which showed Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Assam Chief Minister, with an air gun targeting those in skull caps, Muslims in that video. The video has since been deleted, but it's been seen with 1 million views. And now a group of concerned citizens, including the former LG of Delhi, have filed a public interest litigation which was heard today in the Supreme Court, with the Supreme Court judges saying that they will look at this very closely and that they will look to see how this video has, what action should be taken on this video. The PIL has cited several examples of the manner in which hate speech is being spread by constitutional figures, including in this case, they claim, the Assam Chief Minister. Let's listen into what Himanta Biswa Sarma has had to say on it and the left parties who have joined that petition.
असम का जो पॉलिटिकल डिस्कोर्स है, ये डिस्कोर्स काफी पोलराइज्ड है। भारतीय और बांग्लादेशियों का बीच में ये एक पोलराइज्ड डिस्कोर्स होता है असम का पॉलिटिक्स। बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान का खिलाफ हम लोग बोलते रहता हूँ, घुसपैठिया का खिलाफ हम लोग बोलते रहता हूँ। इसलिए अगर मैं नहीं बोलूंगा तो वो मुझे खा जाएगा, मैं नहीं मारूंगा तो वो मुझे मारेगा। So that is the situation of Assam.
That BJP is propagating through their official handle. This is an open exhortation to target Muslim minorities, to annihilate them. I call upon the Supreme Court of India to take cognizance of this and proceed against the Chief Minister of Assam because he has violated his oath of office.
Okay, joining me now is one of those who's filed that public interest litigation. Najeeb Jung, former LG of Delhi and IAS officer, joins me. Najeeb Jung, you have sought judicial intervention against Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. What motivated you to do this legal action on a video of the kind that was released, put out on social media and later deleted?
Rajdeep, thank you for doing this show. I think it's necessary to speak on this. Well, for the last few years, we've been extremely perturbed at the kind of noises we hear, which are threatening, which are obscene against the Muslim community. We have tried our best to speak to people. We have spoken to the RSS several times, but there is no ebbing to this issue. All kinds of obscene conversations are made, and this recent video absolutely took the cake. I mean, Muslims have tolerated being called barking dogs, being called kat mullah, Colonel Sophia has been insulted, and so on. But this was borne with great patience, thinking that it will ride over. But now, the last 2 weeks, the statements of the Assam Chief Minister, it's not a question of just calling them Mia. It's a question of a call to throw them out of Assam. It's a call to deprive them of honest businesses. And the repercussions have already been felt. When I read in the paper somewhere that a fare charge for a taxi for 20 rupees and the lady paid him 3 or 4. Now that is extremely serious. And when you see the Chief Minister of a state holding a gun, albeit they have withdrawn that, but it came out, and the bullet coming through it heading towards 2 skull-capped Muslims, I think it struck terror in the hearts of crores of Muslims, because this is a clear indication that is this something more planned against the community? And therefore we thought that this is the time now that we should approach the Supreme Court. In fact, let me say this. I am very disappointed in the courts of the country because this is something which called for suo motu action. The courts should have done it themselves. But then we got together, and there are some 10, 12 of us who are concerned citizens who felt that we should bring this to the notice of the Supreme Court. And of course, by filing this petition, this has now come out in public domain. This action has upset.
Sir, but if I may stop you for a moment, what you are saying therefore is enough, that Muslims are running out of patience by the constant demonization and targeting of the community. But on the other hand, the Assam BJP is claiming that this social media ad was not directed against Indian Muslims. It was directed against illegal immigrants, i.e. Bangladeshi, Bengali-speaking Muslims. That is their argument. Do you buy this argument that is being made, that you differentiate between Indian Muslims and Bangladeshi Muslims?
Not at all. It is a nonsensical argument They've been caught on the wrong foot, and therefore they are making these excuses. The language of the Chief Minister over the last several weeks, if not several months, is completely unacceptable. It demands action. In any sane democracy, action would have been taken against him. Only 2 people have filed FIRs against him. My friend Harsh Mandar, who is also part of this PIL, and I'm told today Asaduddin Owaisi in Hyderabad. Let's see what happens. But look at the reaction of the Honorable Chief Minister. He says that he will file 100 FIRs against Harsh. Is that not an absurd statement? I mean, you call them Mias, you want to deprive them of their livelihood, and then you threaten action against a person who feels that you have done wrong. So this going back by the Assam BJP.
But may I ask you this, sir? May I ask you this? Is this directed against, therefore, Assam BJP, Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, for who you say is not fulfilling his constitutional responsibilities? Because you mentioned in your PIL Maharashtra Minister Nitesh Rane and his hateful remarks. You mentioned remarks by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, again which you claim have fueled social tension. Are you seeking, therefore, the Supreme Court to give clear guidelines for any kind of hate speech? Because the court has often spoken of a hate speech, but the police doesn't take action. So are you asking now, not just the Assam Chief Minister, but anyone from any community who resorts to hate speech, action must be taken instantly?
Rajdeep, Mr. Sarma's action of that revolver or gun was the trigger point. I mean, enough was enough. But our PIL actually seeks no action against them. Our PILS is directed at the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court should lay down guidelines for future, clear, specific guidelines. Very often the courts have spoken against all this. In a couple of judgments, they have said that FIR should be filed when there is hate speech, but no clear guidelines have been set out by the Supreme Court on how the police should react. There should be a clear order on anyone. So coming to your question, Mr. Sarma's recent act was the trigger point, but this is directed against all of them who make such speeches. Because like you said, that you have put an entire community, and not only the Muslims, the Christians are having an awful time in the country. No one speaks for them. Their numbers are so minuscule that they can't defend themselves. So we want clear guidelines of action or spoken words against any community. And that also includes, by the way, Dalits and other backwards.
Thank you very well. Those are very, very strong words, Najeeb Jung, and I do hope that the court realizes that it also has to fulfill its constitutional responsibility. Enough is enough. Hate speech is anti-constitution. It is simply unacceptable. Wake up and smell the coffee is what we can tell the Supreme Court today. So after all the controversy and the toing and froing and the uncertainty, well, the good news is the India-Pakistan World T20 match will go ahead this coming Sunday. Pakistan's U-turn of sorts came after an ICC meeting with Pakistani and Bangladesh delegations was held in Lahore. Pakistan saying that they would now go ahead with the match because Bangladesh has been suitably compensated by the ICC, or at least that's the official position that Pakistan and its government have taken. But what's the inside story? Joining me now is a special guest, the editor of Friday Times, renowned anchor, journalist, and of course a former Pakistan Cricket Board chairman. Najam Sethi joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Sethi, there from Pakistan. Explain to our viewers the reasons for Pakistan's U-turn. None of the real objective conditions seem to have changed in the last fortnight. Has Pakistan therefore only ended up embarrassing themselves by first saying they will boycott the match against India and now falling in line and saying, no, we will play with India? What's the inside story, sir?
In fact, it's the ICC that has taken a step back. And I think one of the reasons that Pakistan gave a 15-day notice, the reason was that they wanted space with which to talk to the ICC and Bangladesh. And I think they had reason to believe that that would yield some results. And so I think the ICC has decided to back off a little bit, give Bangladesh some space. And I think Pakistan has achieved part of its objective, which was to get Bangladesh back in the game in one way or another, because the ICC was threatening them and with all manner of sanctions. And I think between you and me, I think going forward, maybe in March, you will see some other concessions that have been extracted from the ICC.
I'll come to those concessions in a moment, Mr. Sethi, but are you seriously telling me that Pakistan wasn't worried about the sanctions that the ICC had threatened to impose on them, possibly a long period of isolation, a loss of revenue? Isn't this really about Pakistan realizing that they cannot afford not to play against India, both in financial terms as well as in terms of their own future in this global game?
No, that's not true at all. It was a very considered decision. They looked at all the angles. They knew that there could be no sanctions. They consulted the top lawyers at home and abroad. And there are precedents that made it clear to them that they were on a very strong wicket. And at best, they would lose a point, no more than that. And I think the ICC also realized that, which is why then the ICC got into motion and made overtures. And that's how Imran Khwaja, the deputy chief, got into action. That's how the Bangladeshis got into action. That's how they came to Pakistan to negotiate so that Pakistan could play this match. Pakistan knew that the broadcasters had the ICC, as it were, on a cold slab. And so as far as the question of resources is concerned, you know, now Pakistan, there was a time when Pakistan used to rely on ICC resources for sustenance, like many of the other boards do. But not anymore. Now that the PSL is taken off in a big way, we get more money from the PSL than we get from the ICC. So Pakistan is well looked after by its own resources. So there was never an issue, never an issue.
Mr. Sethi, you're saying that, but it's a terrible example of mixing cricket with politics, dare I say. It's almost as if Pakistan had a problem with the fact that India, like it or not, is the world capital of cricket, the superpower of cricket. You may see it differently, but the world wants to come to India and play here. They don't want to play the PSL as much as they want to play the IPL. And maybe Pakistan simply wants to try and use these fora to express its anger against India dictating terms to the world. And that becomes an example of churlishness and mixing cricket and politics, isn't it?
No, not at all. The world definitely wants to come to India to play the IPL and all other fixtures. There's no doubt about the fact that India is a major contributor to ICC revenues. No doubt. Nobody's questioning that. But what we are saying is this, that the ICC is supposed to be an independent body. It's not the BCCI. And so therefore, you need to have a system of equity. And I have been working on this question of equity since the big three discussions and so on. And we were the only ones who didn't want to sign on the dotted line. In the end, we were proven right that, the big three formulas were all unjust. And eventually they had to scrap those and come to a new agreement. And by the way, I might tell you, my sense is that there will be new formulas going forward, better, more equitable formulas. So now to come to what you're saying, everybody wants to play in the PSL. Those who don't get into the IPL are all too ready to play in the PSL. And so we realize that. But here's the interesting point. India has never allowed Indian players to play in any league outside India. Isn't that right? Pakistani players play in all the leagues outside Pakistan. We are welcoming. We want India to come and play in Pakistan both in ICC fixtures and bilateral fixtures. But India even refuses to play us in bilateral fixtures outside Pakistan.
No. The reason, Najam Sethi, you know this better than anyone. The reason is, so long as the Pakistani state is seen as a sponsor of terror against India, what happened in Pahalgam, for example, last year, terror and cricket don't go together. You can't have bilateral series if Pakistan is going to be seen as a sponsor of terror or expect India to visit Pakistan and play against Pakistan. You need to create a conducive atmosphere, sir.
Well, Rajdeep, it takes two hands to clap. Do you know what the narrative is? The narrative is that your national security advisor, Mr. Dole, is on record for saying that we're going to sort out Pakistan by sponsoring insurgency in Balochistan. That's on record. You know it as well as I do. So now every time there's a bomb blast that goes off and the insurgents do something in Balochistan, every day Pakistani newspapers are pointing the finger at India, much like India used to point the finger at Pakistan during those years when the insurgency was raging in Kashmir. So it's basically tit for tat. You can't accuse Pakistan of terrorism without evidence. And on the other hand, when Pakistan accuses India of terrorism, you turn around and say, oh, that's not right. So let's not go there, please.
You're calling it tit for tat, but let me ask you honestly. Do you really believe that this was about Pakistan feeling anguished about Bangladesh being wronged? Or was it Pakistan seeing an opportunity to forge an axis with Dhaka in a way to somehow politically encircle India? That this was therefore a political decision, and you know that better than anyone else. This was not about cricket, it was about politics, Mr. Sethi. Would you agree or not?
I know it. That's what was happening for 15 years in Bangladesh when Hasina and Narendra Modi were in bed together. So now what's happened is the tables have been turned. You have a new government that is pro-Pakistan. For 15 years, you had a government that was pro-India. So Bangladesh was sitting with India all the time. Now Bangladesh is going to sit with Pakistan. That's politics for you.
That's politics for you. I think you're being very honest. I'm glad that you're being honest about that. That's politics. But whether a cricket field should become an arena for politics is the big question that all of us cricket lovers certainly will continue to ask. But Najam Sethi, for joining me there and giving us a Pakistani perspective, appreciate that. On this program, we will get voices of credibility from both sides of the border on issues like this. You can call me anti-national for that, but there will be times when I'll say, Garv se kaho anti-national. My first commitment is to the news and journalism. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Jai Hind. Namaskar.